Hey everybody, it is Qqcknd and welcome back to another episode of 5 Fact Friday. I know you guys hate when I sit over here, but I already had all the lighting and stuff set up for my Nick's Face Awards entry and stuff like that, and I'm hoping to do something over here. I hope I go through with it. I've been talking about it kind of subtly for a little while, so hopefully I just do it and John doesn't come home and ruin it, because I will definitely get too shy and not go through with it. But that's why we're over here. A little boring. I made this table, so that might be exciting for you guys. But if you see a thumbnail with this look, then you know I went through with it. Good for me. So, thank you guys for watching my Nick's Face Awards. If you did, my Nick's Face Awards entry. A couple people said that by including other brands in the video, I may be disqualified, and that's fine. Honestly, I just had a ton of fun doing it, and I just wanted to try something different and something new, so that's why I did it. And not to say that beauty concepts aren't new to my channel, but it's definitely not something my channel is focused on. I would say my channel is really tattoo focused, and I don't know how that all happened, but that's what it is. I definitely do want to start doing more beauty videos though. It's just a challenge because when you are vegan, a lot of the products you use definitely get scrutinized and put under a microscope and things like that. And as someone who completely financially supports themselves, I like to relate to you guys in that way. And if I have something that is cost over $50, sometimes I feel uncomfortable showing it because we all have different ways that we budget. And as someone who is a hairstylist and is really dependent on how they look and how they can show other people things and do their own trends, makeup is something that I can definitely justify buying sometimes, but I don't expect all of you guys to justify that same stuff in your budget. So I do use a lot of NYX products, but you'll see me use like a Maybelline mascara because I feel like mascara is one of those things that's really expensive. You can go through all that stuff with a fine-tooth comb, and you can have people tell you that they do not test on animals and that they do, and that everything under the sun is owned by Estee Lauder, so it doesn't matter. So that's why it's a little hard for me to do beauty videos. Also, it is very difficult in general. I started editing my Nick's Face Awards video last Friday, and I did not finish until Monday. Granted, the Qcknd meetup was last Sunday, but still, John was like, hey, how long is it gonna take you? And I was like, 2 hours, and he's like, that's too long. And then it turned into 5 hours, so we were completely wrong. But I just wanted it to be perfect, and it was a ton of fun. I have a hard time finding like non-copyrighted music to use too. A lot of you guys ask me, like, there's a ton of times I use music like this, and you guys will ask me like, I love that music, where's it from? And sometimes it's from the YouTube library, so it's not like even a band. And then other times, I used to live by a pretty cool record shop, Siren Records, and all the time, well, back in my day, I don't know if they still do this anymore, but they always used to have demo CDs kind of in the front where they would keep flyers and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. And they would have demo CDs, and I would always take them as a young person who had a pretty cool CD collection. So I have a ton of these demos in my musical archive that are non-copyrighted and free use. But the bands also like don't exist or never went anywhere, or they were just like a kid who came out with a demo CD. So I try to tell you that when you comment and you're like, what's this music? I try to be like, it doesn't exist. It's from a record shop in the middle of Pennsylvania. But anyway, I love you guys. Thanks to everyone who came to the Qcknd meetup. I have thought about you guys constantly all week. I honestly can't get you off my mind, and I am still not emotionally strong enough to like really talk about the meetup. And I went back to work the other day, and you know, people are like, how did it go? And I'm just like, good. And like, I want to talk about it, but at the same time I'm like, everybody made friends, which is really cool. And a lot of people ask me on Snapchat, like, are you coming to North Carolina? Are you coming to Wisconsin? And, you know, I want to say yes. I have a homie in Canada. She's awesome. You'll see her comment on my photos sometimes. If I could go there and go to Canada, if I could go to Chicago and see Caitlin, like, if I could stay with Rachel in Richmond, like, you guys will be the first to know. John and I are going to Pittsburgh sometime soon, but, you know, sometimes it's hard because I'll tell you guys I'm going somewhere, and you guys are like, have a meetup. And then John's like, we're only staying for 4 hours. But you guys will definitely know. Now that I kind of have an understanding of how these things go, I think it'll be a little easier or whatever in the future for me to plan one out. And then some of you guys were able to see what the meetup was like, and you messaged me and you were like, I was gonna go and then I got nervous and I should have went. So maybe the next meetup you'll know that it's just cool people hanging out. And I'll make iced coffee for everybody because I think we were all thirsty after the donuts. But the channel's growing, you guys have noticed that, and it's super cool. I can't thank you guys enough. And I did promise you guys a while back that at 100,000 subscribers, I would come out with like Qqcknd merch. Today I was on Etsy per you guys' recommendations, creating an account. It won't let me create Qqcknd. Maybe it's too short, but I'm out there and I'm making things kind of happen, so that's the future, and it's within our grasps. But thank you guys. Time for 5 Fact Friday. I think the questions I have today are a little long, so I might only answer a couple of them, but the blah 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 before this, you know, whatever. Everybody's filled in. So I got this question, I thought it was really interesting and very current, so I thought I would answer it. And it was, now that you are a little larger on YouTube, do you feel that you censor your content on your Tumblr? And I thought this was a really great question because normally, you know, you have to stay punk and you're like, I don't censor anything and everything is me and everything is out there for you guys. And I definitely try to embody that person, but my Tumblr is my beloved. My Tumblr has brought me in and out of my everything, I feel like, in my adult life, and I owe so much to it that I also protect it. There's content on there that might be inappropriate or trigger warning and stuff like that, and at the same time, a lot of the stuff I post on there is really sensitive and personal, and recently, like, 2 of my videos went pretty viral, and although, like, that could be a great thing for the channel, and I welcome all new subscribers. How are you? Introduce yourself. Some people come our way on the Qqcknd channel who are not allies to us and who use negative or inappropriate or hateful language and have no idea how they found my video, and they're angry about it, and they have to let me know that they stumbled upon my video and they have to take something from me because I took a couple minutes from them. So you may notice that a lot of my comments have been deleted and filtered, and I filter a ton of trigger words, and I said something on Snapchat today that there is just no room for this language on my YouTube channel, and in the last 2 weeks I've blocked over 300 accounts who come on here and they say, I don't know if they think these aren't hurtful words, but they are. And number one, this is a safe space for all of us, and that has to be true on my Tumblr as well. And Johnny, hello. Okay. I fuck with you too. And because my Tumblr has been a safe space for me for so long, I don't want to divert any of that traffic that may trickle down onto my Tumblr to really seal the deal on how much they hate me and come to my Tumblr, because even my Twitter went under attack, which you guys might know I don't even know how to use. And this guy said that he wants to punch me through a brick wall, and that's violence. That's not okay. You can't say that to someone you don't know. And you can't say that to somebody just because you're on the internet. And if a man tells me that he wants to, like, inflict harm on me and punch me in the face, so much so that the force of the punch pushes me through a brick wall, it's very upsetting, and it's not something that I will ever tolerate. And I don't think it's funny, and I don't think it's in jest. And if my friend texted me, who I've been friends with, and was like, girl, I'm gonna punch you, I'd be like, cool, you're not, because I know you. But if someone I don't know says that, it's not funny. So, recently, I haven't really been updating my Tumblr because I have to protect it. It's my baby, there's information on there that is private, and not so much private, obviously it's out on the internet, but there is poetry I have on there, and short stories, and writing, and photos that are there for an audience who is interested and can relate, and who would treat things, I don't even want to say with sensitivity, would treat things humbly and normally, and there as art and creativity and not something that can be used against me. Especially something that would invoke violence, which is never okay. Ever. You cannot tell somebody that. It's fucked up. And I know, not to get into like this whole cyberbullying thing, because I have thoughts about it. It's just not okay to say to somebody. And because there is no consequence on the internet, and hopefully there never is, because we should all exist on the internet freely, it's still inappropriate. And I hope in my lifetime sense is introduced into the internet, and people, strangers, strange men, strange full-grown adult men do not tell content creators that they want to punch their face through a brick wall. So my Tumblr, yes, I don't want to say it's censored, I just haven't been reaching to it as a source of as a creative outlet recently, just because I'm afraid of it drawing too much attention. I just want it to be overlooked by the people who stumble onto my channel by accident and hate it. So, yes. But I'm sorry. And I'm gonna be coming out with that zine, but I think the zine is gonna be sensitive, and a lot of my writing, which I am nervous to introduce to a mixed audience who might think that that stuff is stupid or emo or narcissistic. You only write about yourself. God forbid a woman can appreciate herself without a man's permission. Nope, he's gotta punch me in the face. He has to punch me in the face. So I got this question from Aurora. You may know Aurora as one of my internet favorites. She did the Qqcknd prints, the original Qqcknd prints, the like Qqcknd flash sheet. We love her, and her and I are going to be collaborating on some great stuff coming soon. 100,000 subscribers. So Aurora asked me this question, and I'd love to give it my full attention and take us to the end of this episode, which would not be 5 questions, but I rambled most of this video. So, Aurora, I've been vegan for the last 3 weeks, and I've been having so much trouble with my family about it. They act supportive, but talk negatively to my other relatives on the phone, etc. And I want to ignore it, but it makes me sad sometimes. Could you give me any advice? By the way, you're a huge inspiration to me and showed me that it's not hard to be vegan, and thank you for that. I've never felt better about myself mentally and physically. Before I dive into this, your lifestyle is yours, and I'm not encouraging you or discouraging you to have a vegan lifestyle or whatever lifestyle you have. This information can be lent to whatever sort of social thing that you do that your family might not appreciate, but as a vegan person, I will lend this to you guys specifically. Stay doing what you do and whatever keeps you healthy or whatever. So when I first became vegan, I feel like most of the things in my life that I have taken into conquest, being a modified person, a tattooed person, a punk person, I feel like at some point my mom has seen it all. And when I became vegan, she kind of just thought it was another trend that I was doing and ignored it at first. I moved back into my parents' house when I was like 20 years old, so in that time I had stopped eating meat, become vegan, and was partially financially dependent, but didn't really have a place to live at that time, so I'd move back home. It was easy for me as an older person to become vegan around my parents because although they knew what I was doing, I wasn't relying on them to create special meals for me, and I was able to walk to the store and purchase specialty items for myself that maybe weren't in our cupboard. Like, yeah, we had rice, but did we have little chicken bits that I like to put in with my rice? Stuff like that, chicken bits. And there are times when I would try to take my brother out so he can enjoy a vegan meal, and my mom would be like, no, like, don't take him. And you have to wonder, is it because it's going to be a vegan meal? And I think the hardest part is that our parents, not everyone's parents, some people's parents are vegan. I think our parents, they think that they are still raising us and still teaching us and that they always know best. And it's really difficult for our parents to have that experience with us where possibly we know best or we're doing something private to benefit ourselves. And that's really hard. And I experience it now as a 26-year-old. Even in John's parents' house, I don't know how to run the dishwasher. It's coming from a place of your parents thinking they always know best for you and know how to take care of you, and then you making such a strong decision about something that basically keeps you alive because your parents have been feeding you since you were born. So there comes the time when you can feed yourself. I remember the first time I ever went to Wendy's by myself and bought a meal with food, with money I had earned, and I was like, it's crazy. It's a huge step in your development. And then you go beyond that, and a couple of years later you have your little job and you pay for your own meals, and then you are preparing them at your house. All of that, I think, is a little hard for our parents to understand. And then to take it so much further, to become vegan, our parents are going to say, like, there's not enough information out there for me to understand that what you're doing could be healthy or detrimental. And there's so much stuff out there, like malnutrition because you were vegan, and you didn't have enough protein, so you dropped dead because you were vegan. And all of that information is always going to deter some of our parents different ways. And it's really hard, but this can be lent to anything: tattoos, moving out, financial independence. There will come a time when you have to take your parents' criticism and it no longer affects you. And if your parents have rules that they rule over you, like my mom won't let me get a tattoo, or my mom won't let me become vegan, there will be a day when you live completely independently and your parents' words will not affect you at all, and your parents' rules will not affect you at all. And for me, it was a lot easier to introduce this while I was still in contact with my parents and close with my parents and living in the same house. So, and I'm not talking about rebellion, like I pierced my nose in the bathroom, fuck you mom, like nothing like that. But one day your parents will see you as an adult and see you as an equal. And for some of us, it happened when I was 18. And then, you know, John, it happened to him when he was like 25. But I preferred to get the wheels kind of turning on that. And my parents do view me as an equal now. And they do recognize that the decisions I make benefit me and they benefit my lifestyle, and I'm capable of pursuing whatever I want because I'm able to find success in whatever I try. Not saying I'm a successful fucking person, but if I can pay my bills, I think I'm okay. And like, that's where I draw that's my idea of everything being okay. So when people come to me and they ask, like, my mom won't let me get a tattoo, what do I do? Do I hide it? I already have tattoos, summer's coming around. Do I show my mom? Or like, I'm vegan and my mom won't let me keep my tofu in the fridge. What do I do? There has to be a time where you cut the string and you tell your parents, like, I did decide to get tattoos, and this is why I thought it was a good reason, this is why I'm responsible and I made this decision, and you can be mad at me, but we have to be seen as equals one day, and this is why I made this decision. And I believe Louis C.K. talked about it in one of his skits, and it's like, I may have said this before too, you raise your children because you hope that one day they'll be better than you, and they'll be smarter than you, and you can give them all your knowledge and all of your experience, so one day they exist, and they are more plentiful than you ever were with knowledge, with security, with education, anything. So if your parents raised you to the best of your ability, and you grew up and you decided, I want to eat a meat-free diet, I want to live this very certain way, I took all the experience you as my parents ever gave me, and I made this decision for myself. Do you support me? And they can say no. They can say no all they want, but one day your parents have to see you as an equal, and they have to see you as an adult. And maybe it'll just take, like, hey mom, remember when you were 17? Remember when you were 23? And I think that can go for anything. And I think my mom, every single time I go home, like how many years later, she'll, you know, there's some ice cream in the fridge if you want any, stuff like that. And I'm so, no thank you. Nothing, I don't get into a big uproar. I don't want to be that stereotypical vegan, like, did they tell you that they're vegan yet? And that they do CrossFit? Like, kill them with kindness. Educate them if they come to you, but stand firm and stand by what you believe in, and as a consenting adult, you have every right to do something that you want to do despite your parents. And I mean, take this tenderly, because if you rely on your parents financially, whether they help you with groceries, or they pay your rent, or you live under their roof, obviously defying them could put you in some sort of jeopardy. But your decisions are still valuable, and if your parents are talking down to you, it might just be coming from a place of confusion, or a place of misunderstanding. And your parents think that they're still raising you, and as you get older, they lose that touch and they lose that hold over you, and sometimes it's negative, and sometimes your parents may harm you. So cutting that string as early as you find healthy to you, I think is great. And I hope I didn't get too off track, but I feel like in my life I've made a ton of decisions that aren't very cookie cutter and weren't in my parents' ideal interest of what their kid maybe was going to be. But this ice cream truck circles my block all day. Like, there are children in school that my parents were young, and that when I was able to get a grasp and get an understanding of the world, I made a ton of mistakes. But right now, and the last couple years, I've kept my head above water, and I'm proud of myself. And if my parents would have held me back, then it may have taken me 10 more years to get to where I am, and that just isn't feasible for me. I have to be able to be me and in charge of my life 100%. And I mean, you can tell your parents the benefits and you can tell your parents that you're trying something, but honestly, the only thing I would want for maybe a future kid or my friends, people I know, if you're trying something different and you're trying really hard and you're educated and you're knowledgeable about it and you're trying your best, I think that shows integrity. And Aurora said she went to the pizza place and looked on the menu and they had vegan cheese and she never even noticed it before. Your parents may notice that it is really fucking easy to be vegan, and if you have the money to buy your own groceries, then you got this. This is 5 Fact Friday. I love you guys so much. Stay tuned for my special project because John is not coming home, so we have all freaking night to do what we want to do. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the continued support. And until next time, bye.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.